Hello friends and welcome back for episode 42 of our Rogue Legacy Let's Play. Let us do a very brief recap here before we get things started. So we did make quite a bit of headway yesterday in our overall goal here of finishing out all the equipment. As you can see, there are just two pieces left that we're missing. That would be the Shadow or the Dark Helm and the Dark Chest piece. Not sure why I went to Shadow, but that seems like it might as well work. Is there one called Shadow? No, Retribution is the other one. Alright, so we're going to be looking for those last two remaining pieces. Well, of course, trying to accrue as much gold as possible as usual, because we've just got these two attributes left in the bottom here. I'm surprised to see quite how much it costs to get your magic damage going. I mean, at level 28, the next purchase is 6,900 gold, which means that as this goes to scale, we're going to be looking at a very expensive bunch of attribute points as we get high up. But I guess that's to counterbalance, like, the attack up, which was also quite expensive, and I think since we just emphasized that so much, it didn't seem like quite a big deal, but I think you'd probably go either one or the other, and since I'm choosing to do both, well, I get to pay for it with a little bit of grinding. So hopefully you guys don't mind too much, and we've got our usual Lady Teresa, the 5th Barbarian Queen. Seems to have the highest chance of getting us places as far as these runs go. I mean, there's not a whole lot to spend gold on that's cheap anymore, so I'm going to hopefully end up with amounts that are reasonably divisible by like 6,000, roughly anyway. And, I mean, the amount that we get in gold now, it's sort of silly to worry much, like if we end up losing 5,000 gold at the end of a run because it just was left over in inventory, you know, so be it. It's not a big deal, we're just going to get it right back. And we've gone through one room here, we've already accrued almost 1,000, and that wasn't even a particularly good room. But now I'm happy to say that I finally accrued all of the gold finds set, as well as, you know, I can buy any runes that I want to finish off. They're all unlocked, I just have to spend to be able to use them. And getting the amount that is required to be able to actually use them is basically kind of silly at this point, considering each stat up for our magic damage bonus is going to cost us 6,000 something. The runes are like, what, half that, if not even less. This guy alive? Nope, he is not. Sort of expect all the paintings to be alive. It's really the only right way to be. Alright, so we're shooting out chicken legs left and right. And we are just basically trouncing the castle so far. We're almost to 5,000 gold. You know, simple start so far, but we're going to still be looking out for equipment is our biggest priority again. And gold, of course. So let's just keep hacking and slashing our way through everything. Try and go as fast as possible here. No reason to belabor the beginning of the run. I just want to try and not run straight into everything, but you know, I'm going to probably do a little bit of that regardless. A little expert dodging sometimes. You know, it occasionally happens by accident. Not trying to sound full of myself. It is always an accident when that happens. You know, I'm somewhat proficient at certain platformers, but for whatever reason, this game, I just run into everything. Not to say that it's like, generally I'm that good at platformers all the time, but I think there are a few that I've certainly spent my time with and gotten a little better than average. You know, I think anybody could do that if you just spend enough time with any specific thing. I don't think there's any, like, inherent talent necessary. I don't know, maybe there is. I'm not really one to say. So let's head up over to the right. More magicians, more skeletons. Fine. No big deal. Gotta kill all that furniture. We're up to almost 20,000 already. Still fairly early on. Again, we will proceed through our usual, fairly normal tendency of going from the castle to the forest, to the Maya, to the darkness, and somewhere in there. If I start to falter, you know, it is what it is. We'll probably end up with enough HP at the points that count, so it won't really matter too much. I mean, just running out of the castle with, I don't know, what even is a good run anymore? It's kind of hard to say. I mean, at this level when I'm this overpowered, I suppose I should be shooting for pretty much 100,000 every single time. But, you know, there's always a chance that I don't quite make it there, so if I don't, I don't. Alright, another little chest situation. Nothing particularly amazing to find in there. Just make sure they don't go on the spikes, of course. Still want that magnetic gold find ability. Totally would be worth a rune slot. You know, hold down some button and just suck all the gold in the room toward you a little bit. Even if it just gets it out of the floor. You know, I've talked about this a dozen times now, but it just seems like a really good idea. Doesn't have to necessarily suck the gold all the way to you and, like, into your character, but just, like, get it out of the places where it can't work, like, and off of spikes, potentially as well. You know, it's nice to be able to pick up the gold, is all I'm really trying to say. I don't think that's that much to ask. Oh, see? Like, basically like this, and I have to just fly onto the spikes. But at this point, I don't really worry too much. Taking a single shot of damage off of some spikes is like, whatever. I'm sure that amount of health is sort of not going to make or break the entire run. It may, you know, make things a little worse for us, but it's not going to be the end-all be-all of the run by any means. So we're 5 minutes into the run now, looking at 25k. So by that logic, in the next 15 minutes, we should absolutely have 100k. Probably more. Although, actually, that's not even true, because I think probably only, what, 3 or so of that 5, now almost 6 minutes were spent talking about the introduction. So let's try and use factual information here, Nick. What am I doing? Alright, so go up, and to the right, and up. More magicianiness, and more eyeball blood. Never have enough eyeball blood. Just said one thing, it's really always that. We're going to end up in the Maya at this rate, so I'm not sure I want to proceed down this path. Let's head back down. Pretty sure these guys don't have too high of a chance of hitting me. Kind of shooting pretty sporadically. And to our right, we've got another, yep, one of these gauntlets of flame thingies, and I'm going to just go ahead and let them hit me, because really, I'd rather just have them shower me with gold. Okay, well, I guess I found the exact right pattern to walk through them. And now we need to go all the way left and down for the next progression area. I mean, I've got that teleporter open, so when I want to get back up there, I will take a teleporter. I won't just walk. And this is going to put me so I need to go left and then down. Who's reading all these books anyway? Is it skeletons or something? Like, he's got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bookshelves stacked around throughout this castle. You know, who's the librarian? Who set up the Dewey Decimal System that this castle abides by? I'm not sure if anyone did. Remember card catalogs? I remember in, like, 2nd or 3rd grade, that was a big deal when I was in elementary school, and they would take you to the school library, and you'd have to, like, sit and have the librarian explain, like, how you deal with card catalogs, because this was going to be, like, really relevant information for us. And even back then, I think I only ever had to use that information, like, 1 or 2 times, and that was because it was mandated at that point. I mean, granted, it's not even that hard of a situation to figure out. So, I mean, the emphasis that was put on it seemed a little bit excessive to me. But, you know, little kids, you never know what the future's going to bring. So I guess they were just trying to future-proof us. And how do you even know? Like, no jumping again? Come on. I'm actually going to take the axe here over the sword wall, just because this has the ability to hit stuff that's above and below me, whereas the sword wall generally does not. Can you imagine trying to design, like, a school curriculum? I'm sure there's probably a teacher or two in my audience watching this. Like, that, I have so much respect for teachers, and the amount of things that they have to compensate for is just insane. Just between, you know, not only just the politics of the school and, like, understanding what it is that you're supposed to do, you know, on a moment-to-moment basis, but just, like, you're always in this position where you want to teach the kids, and yet there's always this opposition that's like, well, you have to teach them this and that because of this test or whatever. And it's not always the thing that they need to actually know. So, I don't know, I sympathize with teachers. Well, I don't sympathize, but because I've never been a teacher. But, you know, I feel like they definitely don't get as much respect as they deserve, and I wish the system could just work in the favor of the people who are trying their hardest, so they don't end up disenfranchised and cynical and frustrated like so many teachers that I've had in the past, and it's just sad. You know, it's one of the most noble goals to teach the children, and just, like, the amount of difficulty that's come of it is just silly to me. I mean, we've even got, like, I read that there was this, like, webcomic one time that was talking about, like, let's see if I could phrase it properly, because I probably can't, but they were drawing comparisons between, like, oh, now with all of the rules and regulations that are being passed to make sure that schools are safe, you won't be able to tell the difference between a jail and a school. And then that was like the wife reading off of a paper, and then the husband heard what she said and was like, actually, it's really, really easy to tell, because the schools have armed guards. And it's just like the most ridiculous thing. Alright, that's, yeah. What was it was the schools have armed guards, and there was another point as well. But it's just, it's like, it's kind of true. It's kind of terrifying. You know, places of learning have now turned into more difficult places to be than possibly jails at times. I don't know. That's probably not the case, but I know just by the time I was leaving high school, they had implemented all kinds of, like, the detectors and, you know, metal detectors and stuff, and you had to wear, like, a mesh backpack. You know, I've never thought that I was going to be in really much of any danger at my school, but I guess maybe I was kind of lucky in that respect. You know, it's sort of a, not the most, like, urban place. There wasn't really much talk of, you know, people threatening each other in that respect, and it's just like, I wish it was just like that everywhere. So I don't even know, like, how do you adapt to the way the world is now? I mean, there's so much danger going on all the time. And there's such a potential for overreach. Oh my goodness, this is like the worst. I can't hit the single target. There we go. Well, it's too late now. I obviously can't win. Anyway, I didn't mean to get off on this slightly political rant about the school systems, but it's like, it's just kind of bewildering sometimes. Alright, so one fast target. I don't even know why I care. I guess I'll just get the little bit of gold if I hit it. And I missed. The end. Yep, I'm a real scumbag. Couldn't hit 8 targets. I'd like to see you do it, clown. You're a clown. What can you do? You got balloons? Actually, it's pretty wild the stuff they can do with those balloons. You know, the art of learning to tie balloons and deal with them like that is, it's pretty weird. Where do you even learn that? You know, I've seen people that just can, like, make incredible balloon animal sculpture type things, and just, like, I don't know where you get that ability. It just, like, seems like certain people have it when they're born. I can't even visualize balloons as creations like that. Maybe experiment. Do you just buy, like, a, you know, 200 balloons and just a little can of compressed air or something and just go to town, or helium, rather? Let me know if anybody out there has ever trained to be a clown, or just had curiosity in making balloon animals. Like, where do you learn to do that? A really weird question, I know, but here, why not ask, right? So where are we now? We're at 53,000 gold. We've got running horses, we've got more magicians. You know, the forest is not a threatening place to me at this point. Actually, sometimes it feels like a less threatening place than even the castle does. Not sure why that is, it just sort of does. I'm not sure why it is, but it do. Grammar is your friend. Oh, goodness. Exit. There we go. How much gold was that? I think I just picked up like 4,000 gold or something in that big old pile. You see, I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to get better and do the downward stabs because that is the only right way to progress. But, you know, there's so many things happening at the same time. Can't always pull it off. Yeah, I'll just stand inside of that guy and just hit him with my sword. Oh, yeah. Alright, well, at least I gave me 29 gold for getting hit there. If I could just get a few more turkey legs, things are going to be back in business. I'm not all that worried about it. Looking at 62,000 gold and then thinking about the amount that I need to spend to finish off those last few attribute points, sort of making me feel a little bit inferior now. I mean, we're still going to take a few runs to get through all of that farming necessary. So hopefully you guys are down to stick around for that. I don't think it's going to take too many more episodes, but probably like another 3, I would guess, maybe, being... I don't know, is that being conservative? It may be. Feel free to guess at the end of this episode how many more episodes it's going to take based on my previous runs. If I could just get, you know, a couple of hundreds out of the way, I think we'll be in good shape. I think if I had another 100 right now, I'd probably be... Oh, what are you doing with that flame there? Okay, it does still hurt me. Sometimes those magic spells have been left over and not hurt me. That one does. This guy's gonna give me a big old chest, though, so it's worth bothering him over. But yeah, I'm thinking if I get 100,000 on this run... Oh! Dark chest plate! Alright, one more item left and we're done. But if I get 100,000, I know this is the third time I've said this, I will finish this thought. I will be able to probably finish out the 1 attribute points set. And then if I get another 100,000 and then another 100,000, I think I could probably finish off the other one. Granted, I am guessing, but feels like it's not too far off. Nothing's still above me, right? Alright, so we'll go left and down We should be able to finish out the forest, hopefully, with a little bit of luck. Nice little pile of gold there. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, let the magicians come to me. Just don't drop all the gold on the spikes. If there are spikes below, there usually are. Rooms like this, oftentimes, it's instead of just a solid spike wall, so it's flat ground, but with those, yeah, these spikes that I'm walking over. Okay, in this case, no spikes whatsoever. I'm totally fine with that as well. If we were to have any choice here, I would take the no spikes at all. But again, still want to do a run where I just take retaliation stuff and just go stand on all the spikes and see what happens. I think that'll be really fun. And vampirism. Do I get vampirism points or HP back, like lifesteal, for killing stuff that doesn't technically really have life? I guess it does have life, but you can't do damage to it? I don't know how this all works. I'm gonna, again, I'll be a Rogue Legacy mad scientist eventually. I'll figure this stuff out. And then if you guys out there have all these weird questions about Rogue Legacy, you can be assured that I will be the guy you can come to. And I'll be able to min-max the, you know, the secret behind the curtain information. BizSnap style, maybe, if I'm lucky. There is something kind of tempting about, like, being the expert at a certain game. Especially a game like this, where it's like, I don't know to what degree it's extremely popular. I feel like this game is pretty popular. So it would be kind of cool to be able to say, like, hey, I'm the one that tested out all those weird theories you guys had. Although, you know, I'm sure there are plenty of other people who have done the same sort of thing that I have, and finished out the game, gotten all the stuff, and just hung around to see what they can do with it. Any completionists out there that are sort of like me might probably take a similar approach. And it honestly would go by a lot faster. Like, in general, I think if you're not commentating, recording, editing, all of this stuff, you could probably knock out much more progress in one sitting. So I've certainly stretched out the amount of gameplay that's in this game, mostly because of the fact that I'm doing all of those things. And I'm not saying that like it's a negative thing. I actually kind of appreciate it. Because it means that I get to take a little bit more time and get into serious depth with it, instead of sort of rushing past everything. And although it may create situations where I play a little bit more loosely with, you know, the abilities and possible talents that I may or may not have, it also, you know, it lets me talk about things and really delve into them. Whereas if I was playing by myself, you know, being quiet, you know, just thinking whatever it is that I'm thinking, I'm probably just not going to really be critically looking at the game. I'm just going to be sort of running through it as quickly as I can to try and get as much out of it each time that I can. I mean, I am doing that as well here, but I'm also taking an extra layer and putting it on top of everything, so hopefully you know what I'm trying to say. We are at 84k now. Things are looking fairly good. I am mostly to my goal for this run. Can't complain too much. Boost these guys out of the way before they get in my way again. Alright, Angry Wolf. Oh my goodness, there are so many freaking projectiles and slimes everywhere. Another full-size slime. This is the worst room. Seriously. That is how you're gonna treat me. And there's still way more back there, I just passed it. Kinda wanna go clear the room out though. Alright, maybe not way more, maybe like 2 more little slimes. Oh, 3 more. Hey, don't drop anything for me, huh? Alright, that's fine. Big ol' room that keeps going places. I kinda wanna see what's on the other side of this and maybe we'll come back. It's always tough to tell like which side is gonna lead to progress and which side is gonna be the dead end. I always like to go to the dead ends first. Alright, well there's the darkness, so that answers that. Just realized something though. Isn't there always what? I killed all the enemies. Wasn't there always supposed to be a teleporter room as we connect from one area to the next, or is that only in the castle that happens? That's probably just the castle, yeah. Alright, forget I said it. Alright, split some slimes off again, and then we will head back in the other direction once this room is clear. I keep forgetting to look at my gold for a second, and I look up and I'm expecting it to say like 150,000, because the speed that it goes up now is just crazy. I'm just gonna wait for the fireballs to go past, except not that time, but it's okay, because I get a bunch of gold. I will just sort of passively aggressively decide to go or not go through those. Okay, oh, well, he alternates, so I guess I will just run at him at some random point. 92,000, nothing too bad there, so let's head to the right. And another one of those same, what are they, plinkies? Plonkies, indeed, plonkies. There's also plankies. Many different plinks, planks, and plonks. What game was that? There was a game that had characters with names like Plinky and Planky. I'm not thinking of like the ghosts from Pac-Man. I know those are Inky, Winky, Blinky, and Nod. Right? But the... is like characters from like Dig Dug or something. Some other more... I don't want to say obscure, because that's not the right word, but like lesser-known arcade game, or lesser-played arcade game, perhaps. And I hope... hopefully you don't think I'm being, like, derogatory towards the game when I say that. I think it is hopefully objectively a fact that that's the case. It is fairly difficult to be as ubiquitous as Pac-Man when it comes to games. In fact, fairly few games really were as ubiquitous as Pac-Man. Would you say Arkanoid or Arachnoid? I'm never sure which way to say it. Would be nearly to that level. I remember it back in the day, like if you ever went to like a pizza place or something, like any sort of family restaurant, there was always a Clax game. I think that's the title, right? The one with the, it's got like a hand on it, and then there's like those tiles that are flipping down towards the screen, and you have to arrange them in some sort of colorful order. It's a very exciting looking game for kids to see in a place, and definitely probably get some money out of parents to go play it. At least that worked on me anyway. But then, you know, there were never too many games that were always around. I never really had, I mean, I had an arcade, like, in my mall when I was a little kid, when I used to live in Long Island, and, you know, that was cool. I got to hang out there sometimes. But I never got the sense that there was, like, much arcade culture from that, although I was probably way too young to know about what even that meant. I kind of want to just axe this guy to death. I don't really feel especially compelled to bounce off of him a whole bunch of times, maybe a couple of times. There we go. Alright, we passed the 100,000 mark. I could use a little bit more HP, though. Hopefully prolong this run a little bit more. The size would probably be more powerful, but at the same time I'd rather leave him alone. Because I think this one has better reach, the axes, I mean. Where am I even going? I should probably look at that before I start heading off in some random path. Forest looks like it's pretty much all done, am I correct? No? Okay, there's one more room to the boss room on the south. Almost obscured by an image there. Anyway, what I was going at with the whole arcade thing is it's kind of sad that there's not really, you know, public places where people get together to play games anymore. I kind of want to just go try this one. I never messed with it. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to end up in a dead end. Oh yeah, these guys are nothing but trouble. Alright, at least I got some money for it. But granted, I mean, there was obviously the transition away from public gaming to, you know, playing more privately, but having the accessibility of having all your friends online all the time, which, you know, obviously was not the case back then. And I'm not sure if it's a good switch. I don't know, there's positives to both elements, I suppose. It is obviously more convenient to be able to play games from your living room with all your friends, but at the same time, there's a social element that goes along with having a place where you physically get together. And just, you know, it leads to more hermit-like behavior, of course, if you're just at home all the time playing games. And, you know, that is totally the case for me, so it's not like it's as a, you know, pot calling the kettle black situation. I am freely admitting to it myself. But if there was a place like that, that was fairly social, and, you know, there was a reason to go to it, I would probably still want to go. Maybe. I guess it's hard to say, since I don't really have the luxury of being able to try it, but... Anyway, that's the end of that run. Big old menagerie of enemies there that we've slain. Looks pretty nice. Slain by a visionary. I guess if I was to be slain by anyone, it should be someone with a high level of ambition like that. We've got a Spelunket. I'm thinking this might be a good time to try out that run I keep talking about. And we've got 108,000 gold, so let's see if there's anything here I need to spend on. I think we did get, what, the one more, the chest piece, right? So we've got the dark chest, and I could just spend the 6,000, I may as well, right? Get that unlocked. Was there anything rune-wise that I was trying to still deal with? I was just buying all the retribution runes, I think, and those are just going to keep getting more expensive the more I buy. I haven't bought all the balance runes. I mean, I'm probably going to just buy all of them. Well, I am going to buy all of them after a point, but I just don't know what the right order is to go through them in. I've got all the gold ones, which are kind of the only ones that I think really matter, and I've got mostly, if not all, of the vampirism ones. Alright, so we don't have to worry about this over here. The Death Defy is complete. So mana up. Do I want to just finish this out? Kind of. You know, it's pretty tempting to only have one thing to just worry about spending on. I think I should be able to maybe make it just... No, I'm 1 point shy. Alright, well there is my impetus to mess around with this run and give it a shot. So this is preliminary. This is not the official run. So let's remember what my setup here is. So I've got the Royal Sword, switch that to Sage. I've got the Slayer Helm. I'm going to forget all of this, so I mean this is just for me to note for myself for later. And we're just switching from all of the Slayer or Royal stuff to Sage set. 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, and then I'm going to look, wow, look at me go. I'm so golden. And then we're going to throw on that one more rune from the Grace runes, so we're solid gold in every possible respect. Let's look at our character card quick here. We are all gold. Level 459, Spelunker. Our gold find bounty increase, each gold drop is worth 280% more, and then we've got 100% bounty increase from New Game Plus bonus. I don't think there's anything else we can do to increase our gold find. I think that is all of the things. So we finally realized our dream, right? So let's see how competent we are as a warrior now. It's a little bit of a bonus, I guess, for sticking around. I don't expect, again, that this run is going to be particularly long or particularly fortuitous. We are at 38 gold per drop. And probably, now with the increase in damage that these guys are going to do to us, and the decrease in my ability to fly, I'm probably going to die in the first few rooms, I have a feeling. I do not have a ton of gold as this character. So, oh wow, that is a lot of gold though. I don't know what to say about this. This whole run was something I was very excited about, but now seeing the luck of the draw here, it's not the best thing. I don't know. What I'm probably going to end up doing when we get to our like challenge run portions of the show or the series is that I'm probably going to just try and spend a whole episode devoted to just one concept of a run. So, you know, maybe we'll get lucky and have a particularly nice build of a castle to compensate for how freaking hard this is all of a sudden. My goodness. Kind of wish I had stayed in the first new game area, because that was 6,000-ish gold, which is hardly enough to buy anything. But now we know. So Spell Sword, Paladin, Assassin, Archmage, Barbarian Queen. Alright, there we go. 6,200. I can't buy even that 1 point that I was lacking, so I guess I will spend it on runes or something. Why not? Put that back on. I think I did need that Grace rune that whole time. That actually worked pretty nicely. Got mostly all the retaliation runes left, just one, or mostly all of them done. One that I haven't bought, rather. Slayer Helm, I think I had. Wait, right? Wait, that's so much better. I really sacrificed all those stats for just... I don't know. Yeah, I think I had all that except for that, which was for the flight. Yep, that looks right to me. Alright, well with that, I suppose we will wrap this episode up. Definitely a lot of fun. Where are we at now? Level 459 with a 459 Barbarian Queen. Yeah, I think that's all the correct information that we needed to have on our card. I love this interface, by the way. I don't think I ever mentioned, but like the fact that it looks like a magic card is really cute to me. But yeah, another fun run. I mean, we did get a bunch more gold put into our attributes. I mean, we're 1 point away from finishing off the magic mana up. I mean, what is our magic now at anyway? 517. Seems like it should be higher than that, right? And then we'll be able to just devote all of our money directly to magic damage up. And the one single piece of equipment that we are missing at this point is our Dark Helm. Right, Dark is always the descriptor for that one. I keep forgetting. So with that, I guess I will bid you all adieu. Make sure you praise the Sloth King in the tree there. And I hope you all had a wonderful time hanging out with me. Of course, if you still are enjoying the series, feel free to let me know via, likes are always appreciated, comments are always appreciated. Only if you think I deserve them, of course. And I hope you will come back and hang out with me again tomorrow, because I want to continue doing the series for quite a while yet. I still think there's a lot more to do, even though we've pretty much done nearly everything there is to see in the game. I do want to push the boundaries of what this game is going to let us do, And I don't know, maybe it'll fizzle out and maybe I'll have more runs like that were just sort of sad, but regardless, I'll give it my best, and I hope you guys will be here to see. So have a lovely night, and thanks again. I will see you real soon. Later.